Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Wide With Declan. As always, we will discuss NASCAR related topics, so let's get right into it. Our first topic is New Hampshire rain. So this past weekend at New Hampshire was a very wet weekend up in Loudon, New Hampshire, canceling practice and canceling practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and canceling qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series. NASCAR Cup Series was originally scheduled to have a 30-minute practice session, but the rains came back. The rains came back once again and ended the session after only 5 minutes. And ironically, the only car that did not take a time in that practice session was the 20 of Christopher Bell, and if you watched the race, you'd know he went on to win the very next day. And with 82 laps to go, the red flag came out for weather in the area. They brought the cars down pit lane, covered them, but they didn't dry the track all the way, because New Hampshire was a flat short track, which with the new short track package they are equipped with rain. They do have the option to go into wet weather tires. Unlike Formula One, NASCAR only has one dry compound and one wet compound. So if you watch Formula One, you might be a little bit unfamiliar with the different NASCAR tire compounds. They just have a standard dry one and a standard wet compound. And then they put the wet weather tires on, finished out the rest of the race, and the wet weather tires allowed drivers like Chase Briscoe and Chris Buescher to shoot up the running order and finish second and fifth respectively. And our second topic is silly season, both tracks and drivers. So speaking of Chase Briscoe, it was announced this week that he will officially take over the number 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2025. And so Chase Briscoe, I feel like he will be decent. He will be better than he is in the 14. That's what I say. And then my silly season predictions now, it looks like Josh Berry going to the 21. Josh Berry's the new favorite for the 21. Chase Briscoe was the favorite to go to the Wood Brothers. Then he signed with Joe Gibbs. So Josh Berry, he's my prediction to go to the 21. Front Row Motorsports will be Cole Custer, the 34. And it will be Cole Custer, the 34, and Noah Gregson, their third entry, the 36. Ryan Preece will be the Haas Factory driver, the Cup driver for Haas Factory. And then the final two charters will go to Trackhouse, who will make Zane Smith full-time, the 91. 91 full-time, Zane Smith, the driver. And then the fourth and final charter will go to 2311 Racing, make the number 67 car full-time, and put Riley Herbst in there. Because if you know Riley Herbst has a ton of sponsorship funding from Monster Energy. And now that's part one. Let's do a part two of topic number 2, the silly season, but for the tracks. That was part one. Let's do part 2 of this topic. So the schedule for 2025, parts of it have already been announced. The Daytona 500 will take place. The 67th annual Daytona 500 will take place on February 16th, 2025. The 66th running of the Coca-Cola 600 will take place on May 25th, 2025. The second Atlanta race next year will take place on Saturday, June 28th. It will be a night race. Saturday, June 28th, 2025. And the championship will once again be at Phoenix and I believe it will be on November 2nd, 2025. And then it has already been announced that Homestead, 3 tracks will move out of the playoffs, and in return, 3 tracks will move into the playoffs. The tracks moving out of the playoffs will be Atlanta, Watkins Glen, and Homestead. So Atlanta, Watkins Glen were pretty expected as they were just one-offs to this year's playoffs, and because I don't think we really need 2 super speedways and 2 road courses in the playoffs. The drafting tracks just create too much chaos, and the next gen isn't exactly the best car on the road courses. But Homestead is the shocker here. So everyone thought Homestead in the 2025 early as would be the finale, but it is not even going to be in the playoffs next year. They're still lining it up to be the finale in 2026 because next year's the last year of Phoenix's deal as the finale. And then in return, the 3 tracks moving into the playoffs will be New Hampshire, Gateway. 3 tracks moving into the playoffs will be New Hampshire, which was this past weekend's race, Gateway, which I really hope is a night race. Gateway, which I really hope is a night race in the playoffs. And then the third track moving into the playoffs will be Darlington. To the Southern 500 will be the playoff opener next year. Daytona will be the regular season finale. And now, my weekend prediction. We've got the Cup Series. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, the top 2. Denny Hamlin, top 2 in points. Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, some drivers to look out for. Xfinity Series. AJ Allmendinger, the winner here last year. Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, the usuals. Then Truck Series, Christian Eckes, Corey Heim. Those are the usuals. And that does it for this week on 4 Wide with Declan. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and bye for now.